Welcome to Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, presented by JosephAuto.com. I am Paul Daugherty Jr. here with you. We're live at the Moorline Lager House. There are people here, in case you can't tell. Paul Daugherty is with me. He will be Doc. I will be Paul, so we have all this taken care of.
I appreciate the clarification, Paul. Nice to be with you. Very nice to be here at the Moorline Lager House. We've had one game to discuss. It's not a game we really want to dwell on, but we will for a short time, and we'll move right along after that. We will get to Pittsburgh week. We will also have a special guest from the Cincinnati Bengals, as well as Inquirer Bengals reporter Joe Reedy. So we're looking forward to a good time tonight.
Absolutely. We have quite a team here with us. You mentioned Joe Reedy, who is here at the VIP table with our special guest tonight, Robert Geathers, who is with us. You got to be happy to have Robert Geathers in the house along with Joe Reedy. We're not done yet, though. Plenty more where that came from. Lindsay Patterson is here. She's in the field. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, the table field reporter out here getting fan reaction. We're getting fan reaction after that 24-21 Chicago loss. We'll hear about the negatives, the turnovers, the mistakes, some of the positive Andy Dalton's play that you guys will get to later, and looking ahead to that Monday Night Football game. If you can't be here, remember, you can play along on Twitter, #BeyondTheStripes. Back to you, Paul.
All right, Lindsay, she's going to be out there all night, and you hopefully are with us at Cincinnati.com. And hit us up on Twitter. Send us your questions at #BeyondTheStripes. Go over to Facebook. We're also there at the /Cincinnati Inquirer. We'll try to get to them tonight, and certainly will as soon as we can, maybe for future shows, whatever you want. But, Doc, we got to talk about the ball game.
Yes, we do, and an odd mixture of good and bad, Paul. You were with me right next to me in the press box.
Yep.
You saw what I saw. Give me your take 2 days later.
I think the take 2 days later is not as bad as it always feels in the immediate moment afterwards. And I think the take is you played well as a team. You looked like the better team, I think, for the majority of the day, and that was why in the immediate aftermath it stung so much. The offense moved the ball up and down the field almost at will against a quality Bears defense. That is the thing where then you look back at the composure, at the penalties, the things like that, that basically any one of 3 or 4 things that don't go the Bengals' way, do go the Bengals' way, you're sitting here talking about a win and being one game up on everybody in the division.
11 games yesterday and last night and Sunday were decided by a touchdown or less. They're won by the team that keeps its composure, makes fewer mental mistakes, and hopefully has better clock management. The Bengals are not far away from being very good, but when in a league that is this close, where you've got 3 to 5 teams that really aren't very good, 3 to 5 that really are very good, and then the vast NFL middle, you're talking about 6 or 7 points at the most making a difference. And to win a football game like that, you have to keep your cool. You have to eliminate the mental mistakes. The good news for the Bengals, they played well.
Yeah.
What was the biggest question coming into this season for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Can Andy Dalton take the next step? Everybody wrote about it.
Exactly. Now, after one game, very small segment, what is your opinion on that?
Well, he played one of his best games as a Bengal.
Absolutely.
Jay Gruden said it afterwards. He said it probably is his best game in the Bengal. By the numbers you look at it, 78% completion percentage is the best he's ever had, and it wasn't dink and dunk stuff. This was moving the ball vertically down the field. It was hitting A.J. Green. It was deep outs to the corners. That these are throws that Andy Dalton is not supposed to be able to make, according to the critics. And he was doing it against teams that he's not supposed to be able to do it against. Remember, this is the guy that supposedly can't beat top defenses. The Bears were ranked 5th last year in total defense, and still, here's Andy Dalton and this offense with all its new weapons, the tight ends playing great, Giovanni Bernard giving you yards, doing what was promised. Now, that's why it's so frustrating for this team that they now have an L, but the thing is, those are very fixable.
Those are correctable. You're absolutely right. You can fix composure. You can fix mental mistakes. You can fix clock management. What you cannot fix is having a less than elite quarterback if you want to get to the playoffs. And I think Dalton, at least for the first week, and I must say the first week is really not a predictor of a lot. But at least for the first week, against a pretty good defense on the road, Andy Dalton showed that he could play.
No, absolutely. And you look, I look back at, you had we'll call it the josephauto.com drive of the game. I call it 3 drives. You had 3 drives of 80 yards or more and 8 plays or more, distributing the ball, moving around. Everything that was promised was really there. We've seen what this team can bring, and now going forward, you say, hey, go do the same thing, except keep your composure. Don't make a holding penalty here. Hold on to the ball a little bit here, and you take the win and you move forward. So we move forward as well. I'm happy to be here at Moorline Lager House because I love Moorline beer, and
that is a cheap plug if you weren't aware of that.
It's also a distress signal because I have water, and I've never drank water here before, not once.
We're on duty afterwards. They have time for everything, Paul.
Do I have to wait that long?
We'll get you a flight.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe some point in time I'll get a flight. I promise not to just slam beers and sound like Harry Carey by the 4th segment, but maybe I love drinking the OTR, so maybe I send that out. Maybe Lindsay in the field can hook me up with something out there in the staff. But let's talk to Lindsay. I think she probably has somebody, right? I mean, what do we got going on out there?
I do. I have David. He's been a fan since 1968 from the very beginning, so he remembers the good and the bad too. Andy Dalton, they hit on it, played an amazing game, 26 of 32, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Were you surprised with his play in Chicago?
No, I expected him to do that well. I think he's taken the next step. He had a very good game. He had very good deep balls, and I was real happy with his performance.
What didn't you like out of that game besides all the penalties and mistakes?
Well, if we correct those, we played well enough to win. Our running game, we really would rather have more yards out of that, and I think that would help.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Back to you, Paul.
All right, Lindsay live in the field. I love it. But we got more. Joe Reedy, of course, here with Robert Geathers. If you don't follow at Joe Reedy on Twitter, you're missing out. But hopefully we can hear what Robert has to say. Reedy, what do you got?
Well, Paul, I think it was an interesting opener. 4th quarter, Bears were able to rally, but Robert, I think, what was the impressions from Mike Zimmer yesterday in the film room?
We were definitely disappointed. Anytime you go into the 4th quarter with the lead, it's up to us to get it done and win the game. It was a bad feeling, but we got to put it behind us and move on. I mean, some of the positives we took away from the game is that for the most part of the game, we looked like ourselves. We were flying to the ball. Everyone knew what they were doing on the same accord, and we're just flying around having fun out there. So we just have to learn from it and build from that.
I think the one thing that was impressive is you guys didn't get any sacks of Jay Cutler, but the pressure was really good. Carlos got in there a couple times with pass deflections. Michael Johnson. Does the amount of pressure that you guys got in that game kind of give you hope going into the Steelers game? Because last year was a couple weeks before really the sacks came.
Yeah, we know going into this game, the Bears did a lot of different things going into this season to protect Cutler, and we know it's going to be difficult to get pressure on him, with their protection and getting rid of the ball quick, but we still managed to find a way to get some pressure on him, and even though when he gets sacks, he feels that pressure. Whenever we can get to a quarterback and hit him, knock him down, bat his balls, it's frustrating for him. So we did that, and I think that was key for us. So we're going to build off it, and we're trying to get some sacks. So hopefully we can get to Bend this coming Monday night.
Kind of hard for you to believe this was your 10th NFL opener. I mean, your first one. The Meadowlands ain't even standing anymore, and now open at Soldier Field, Monday night game. Just going into your 10th NFL season has to be a thrill.
Oh, man, it's definitely a blessing, to manage to be in the league, going into my 10th season. It's amazing, and I just give all the honor and glory to God, because without him, I wouldn't be able to do it. And, it's just this year just seems even more special with the group we have in that locker room. I just feel like this is the year to get it done.
Definitely is. Just one of those games, penalties, turnovers. You leave a team hanging around on the road, I think you guys would agree. You leave them hanging around, eventually they're going to take advantage. But compared to other openers we saw, especially last year in Baltimore, team won by 30. They were able to bounce back. Kind of look for the same on Monday night against Pittsburgh.
You never want to dig a hole, but this was a team that was 3-5 last year and ended up right where they wanted to be in the playoffs. It's not impossible to recover from early season loss, especially when everyone in the AFC North is 0-1. I think we can throw the panic button out the window.
Football Outsiders calls the first week National Jump to Conclusions Week. And I know fans around here are probably a little bit irritated by what happened on Sunday. I think that there was enough good that went on Sunday that they can look forward to Monday night with a little bit of optimism.
There's one thing I can count on from you, Doc. You will never jump to conclusions, though.
Never, never. I'm even keel all the time.
Very rational, logical, no reason
you
to
bet, brother. You got it.
Yeah, that's what all the readers will say about you. But we, of course, are not done here yet. We've got the initial introductions all the way, but we're going to bring Robert Geathers up here, talk a little bit about everything that Robert is, his family, so many brothers and cousins. They're in football everywhere. Talk to them all about that. His hometown, all the way back in South Carolina. But we'll be back in a little bit. One quick little break. But we want to thank you for being with us here at the Moorline Lager House. Oh, yeah. Right on cue. All that rehearsal that we did, awesome. the applause is working, so that's good. Anyway, Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, and we're presented by JosephAuto.com, and we will be right back.
Do not, I repeat, do not buy a 2013 Chevy from another dealer. Not when you can get a 2014 from Joseph Chevrolet for the same price or less. Seriously, Joseph Chevrolet's 2014s are a better deal than anyone else's 2013s. $129 a month for a new Cruise? Up to $6,500 off a 2014 Silverado? Now that's a clearance sale. Don't pay more for a 2013 than a 2014. Come to Joseph Chevrolet now.
Uncle Ray. Have you heard about all the fun things happening this summer? Festivals, concerts, movies, restaurants, fun places to go, exciting things to do? If you don't get the Enquirer and Cincinnati.com, you're missing out. We tell you about events in every community for every taste. And be sure to download the exclusive Things to Do app to have the best entertainment guide right at your fingertips. The Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. Subscribe today at Cincinnati.com/subscribe.
We're talking about you. Just a little bit about the game, what happened, then we'll talk about, like we were talking over here about the Georgia thing. Nice and light. Are you the best football player in your family? Of course.
If I was, people wouldn't still be calling me junkie.
All right, welcome back to our beautiful show here, Beyond the Stripes, and of course, we're joined here with Robert Geathers on the desk, and we want to talk about everything that has been going on with the Bengals and with Robert Geathers, an interesting guy, and as you mentioned earlier, 10th year with the Bengals. So, Robert, in your 10th year, anything surprise you anymore about the NFL?
No, not really, man. I've seen it all, man.
What is it like being a veteran going into training camp, by the way? Is it as dreaded as we all think it is for you guys?
Dreaded? Of course not. You get excited every year, to go to camp, even though, it's going to be tough physically. Well, with the new CBA, it's not as tough anymore as when I first came to the league, but it's kind of a drag just to get away from your family. But once you get there with the guys and get in the locker room and get in the swing of things, I mean, you love it. That's what you signed up to do.
Can we talk about Sunday just for a minute?
What's that?
Can we talk about Sunday just for a minute?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Do you feel like you guys let one slip away?
Definitely. I mean, we went in that game, with the intentions to win the game, and we came out with a loss. So, on defense, we went in the fourth quarter with the lead. We got to find a way to win the game and not let it slip away like that. What
happened, Robert? Within about 40 seconds of the fourth quarter, about 8 minutes left, you guys had to call 2 timeouts. What was going on there?
Too much. We just kind of got to keep our composure, all around, from the coaches to the players and be on one accord. And we kind of was just a little unorganized. So there's things we got to work on and get that fixed.
I want to talk about your family. because Sports Illustrated did a feature on you guys actually this past off season. You have stop me. I'm going to try and reel off as many as I can. Your uncle Jumpy, right?
Yep.
Played in the league for a long time. He has 2 rings.
Yep.
I assume he flaunts them every time you see him at Thanksgiving.
All the time.
You have a brother Clifton
Yep.
with the Eagles, right?
Yes.
Okay. You have now Kwame. He went undrafted. He was with the Chargers.
Yes, he made the squad.
So he made the squad
played last night.
So you'll hold on again there. Now you have a cousin, Clayton.
Yes.
Who is a defensive back at UCF,
Yep,
who apparently is tearing it up down there.
Yep, he's doing pretty well.
And I'm not done yet. You have a cousin, Carlton.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he's like a stud basketball player at South Carolina, right?
Yeah, he's been a little banged up with his knee. You know, it's so tall, but he's trying to get healthy and get back on the court.
What are Thanksgiving football games like at the Geathers household? I mean, is there a competition? Do you bring in other families just to beat them down, like you would bring in a Northwestern State or something like that?
It's hard to find competition for us, man. Maybe we can get together with the Matthews and go after it or something like that. But you know, it's pretty intense. It's all about football. That's all we do. You know, whenever I get around my Uncle Jumpy, he still lives, you know, breathes, sleep football. So you can't go in that house without getting coached up by him.
So you watched last night. You had a rooting interest in both games last night. You watched the first game of the Redskins and the Eagles.
Yep, I was up all night.
And then you watched the second game with the Chargers and the Titans because you had family.
Yep, I did.
Now, I asked you this before. We were talking about pass rush and getting sacks. You watched what the Eagles did to the Redskins in the first half of that game. How difficult is it going to be for you guys to get to the quarterback now and in the future if teams start running offense like that?
We'll just have to find a way. And I think I think a lot more offense will go to that style, you know, the quick hurry-up style. And I think defenses just have to adjust. You know, we won't be able to rotate as much like we do now. So we'll just have to find some type of way. You know, the Redskins, they brought a lot of pressure. We're able to get to Vic sometimes. So we'd have to find a way to get to them.
Is it frustrating? I mean, it used to be you were given about 3 seconds. You had about 3 seconds to get to the quarterback. Now, even on Sunday, the Bears did not run the offense that the Eagles ran last night, but Jay Cutler took a lot of 3-step drops.
Yeah.
He got the ball out quickly. He had 6 guys, sometimes 7 guys block, and he had tight ends chipping you.
Yeah.
Is the game changing, I guess, is what I'm asking, Robert, where the 3 seconds that you used to have to get to the quarterback is now 2 or 2.5?
It definitely is. I mean, but like we said, there's different things we can do on defense. So when they do leave 6, 7 guys in, we can still get a one-on-one matchup. So, I mean, I think coordinators have to be exotic and come up with some different ways to get one-on-one matchups where we can get after the quarterback.
You know, how difficult is it to play football with the Geathers name on your back? I'm just curious. Does your uncle call you after a game like yesterday, or do other guys, any of your brothers or cousins, call you after seeing how you play, or give you tips, or is that not happening anymore since you've been in the league for 10 years?
Oh, I'm so tired of getting coached up by my uncle. It ain't even funny, man. There's definitely a lot of pressure. You know, still in the locker room, everybody still calls me Jumpy. He just asked me if I'm the best football family in my family. But if I was, they wouldn't be calling me Jumpy. I would have my own nickname.
That's right.
So it's hard, you know, but you just take it, and it has helped a lot. You know, I'm able to call my brothers and tell them what I saw them do last night and help them along the way.
Now, are you still fairly closely aligned with your college football team, which is the University of Georgia? Do you still, 10 years later, follow those guys?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's still a lot of us in the league, so we're able to
You had 7 guys on the roster,
I know, tell
right?
me about it. But, yeah, we keep in touch, and we had a pretty close-knit group down there in Georgia, so we're able to follow each other and keep in touch with each other.
What was your favorite Southeastern Conference stadium to play in besides your own?
The favorite, it wasn't my favorite, but it's definitely the most exciting. LSU, their fans,
night games at LSU
yeah,
with
their
the
fans
Tiger
are crazy,
and the yeah.
man. They're so in tune to the games. They know exactly what's going on, and it's just live from start to finish.
What was the worst? Least favorite?
I don't know. I just hate just going back to Carolina, the Gamecocks, they're annoying. They could suck and still the fans are bananas. You know what I mean?
Did they give you a hard time for not going to South Carolina? I mean,
nah, they were pretty bad coming out, so nobody blamed me for going somewhere else.
we want to kick it back out to Lindsay, who is out live at the tables, the field. She's out there. What do you got, Lindsay?
All right, like I said, if you can't make it to the Great Christian Moorline House, you can send us a tweet on Twitter about the game, hopefully after a win. But Sunday they fell 24-21. As you remember, Robert, and I remember Jay Cutler's run. Marvin Lewis had a few choice words to say to you. Do you care to share?
I couldn't hear it.
Marvin Lewis had to say to you after Jay Cutler escaped containment on that one?
Fortunately, I wasn't in the game, but you know, we can't let them scramble like that. We up front, we lost our pass rush lanes, and everybody wasn't where they're supposed to be. So it's something we have to work on and be more disciplined. I mean, a lot of points in that game, we were just undisciplined. We're unlike ourselves, and we were trying to do too much. You know, so basically, we were just saying, do your job and not stop worrying about what else is going on in the field.
Let's move ahead if we can to the Steelers. There will be no lack of focus on Steeler Week, I'm guessing.
No lack of focus. I mean, it's the first home game of the year. It's Monday night, and it's a division game, so it's big. I mean, there's nothing. You got to be locked and loaded, ready to go.
Now, the fans here tend to dislike the Steelers more than the Browns and the Ravens. As players, do you just look at it in that fashion as simply another division game, or does Steeler Week come with its own juice, so to speak?
It has a little juice to it. You know, the fans around here, everybody gets jacked up about it, and that passes on over to us. You know, they're known to be a physical, hard-nosed group, so you have to be ready to play. Put your big boy pads on and ready to go.
All right, well, Lindsay, she's got more. She's never done. Lindsay, what else you got for us?
If the team has a team psychologist, he's being serious. You know, after a game with tons of mistakes, does the team have a psychologist in the clubhouse?
Do we have a psychologist?
You have a shrink
We're
on
getting
call.
this on Twitter.
No, I mean, most of the younger guys, they come to me. You know, I talked to Mike all night last night, and, you know, we just have different, you know, dialogue and what we need to. I mean, the biggest thing in a game like that, this early in the season, we just have to, you can start pointing fingers in the locker room and blaming this person, that person, but we just have to kind of, you know, learn from it and move on, put it behind us and move on to the next week.
So you heard it here. Robert Geathers, 10-year veteran, team psychologist, added to the resume.
Does it all.
He does. But we're still here at Moorline Lager House. We got plenty more to come. Did I say Moorline Lager House? People are supposed to cheer when I say that, I thought. We're here at Moorline Lager House. They're slipping already. It's only the second time we've had to do this. But we're going to continue. We'll be back with more with Robert. We'll bring Joe Reedy up here. So thank you for continuing to watch Cincinnati.com, Beyond the Stripes, JosephAuto.com. Let's go to break.
25 years ago this month, Joseph Toyota opened its doors selling the best cars at unbeatable prices. And it wouldn't have been possible without you, our customers.
It's Joseph Toyota's 25th anniversary celebration going on now. Save your silver and lease the all-new 2014 Corolla LE for just $225 a month. Camry SE for only $225 a month. Or a new RAV4 LE for, well, you get the idea. Joseph Toyota is always the right choice.
Have you heard about all the fun things happening this summer? Festivals, concerts, movies, restaurants, fun places to go, exciting things to do? If you don't get the Enquirer and Cincinnati.com, you're missing out. We tell you about events in every community for every taste. And be sure to download the exclusive Things to Do app to have the best entertainment guide right at your fingertips. The Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. Subscribe today at Cincinnati.com/subscribe.
All right, welcome back to Cincinnati.com, Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, presented by JosephAuto.com. I haven't screwed it up once.
Do you get some kind of reward for saying that 4 or 5 times?
I should. I think
you have to take a deep breath. I mean, really,
it just rolls off the tongue, though.
It really does.
You want to say that next time?
I got you.
All right.
JosephAuto.com. I'm going to continue to get the plugs in. But we started talking Steelers a little bit, but now I want to bring in Joe Reedy. Joe, How much more important is this game now? I don't think that you can really talk about a week 2 game as being, Lord knows we're not going to use the phrase must win, but the importance is amped up a little bit with 2 teams come in having taken an L in the first week.
Well, and I think also, Paul, it's a division game. The entire week 2, Cleveland, Baltimore, and then you got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 6 division games. It's important when you factor in tiebreakers too. And who knows, Pittsburgh could be in the mix of things, and you want to get that win early. And also, it's a prime time game. There's a different atmosphere, different electricity, the nation, the whole Monday night aura. I mean, it's big, and you got 2 rivals. But I think strategy-wise, the thing that's going to be interesting is Pittsburgh comes into this game very injury-plagued, and the biggest thing out of Mike Tomlin's press conference today, Kelvin Beachum, who didn't play center until last Sunday against Tennessee, gets a start because Pouncey's out for the year with the knee injury.
Were you surprised at how poorly the Steelers' offense was in week 1? I think that took everybody by surprise.
I thought the running game was going to struggle a little bit. Stevens Howling now out for the year. Jonathan Dwyer, which Robert knows from the 2 Steelers games last year, especially the week 7 game here. Jonathan Dwyer can be a pretty good running back at any time, but I think a lot of people, like last week, we talked about the Julius Peppers and Anthony Collins matchup. Beachum against Geno Atkins in this line is going to probably be the most discussed matchup this week.
Yeah, Robert, when you hear news of offensive linemen just falling, when they lose a guy like Pouncey, a guy who's never really played much of center before coming in there, how much do you as a line talk about ways to try and exploit those matchups? I mean, that's 1A for you guys right now, is how to take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely at the center position. That's the guy that runs most of the communication up front. So hopefully we can do some things to, kind of get him off track a little bit. But he's the guy that's been waiting on his opportunity. So he's going to be excited and ready to go and try to earn that spot. So, you can't sleep on him. You have to be ready, prepared just like we're playing the starter.
Now, you're not facing a Michael Vick, even a Jay Cutler 3-step drop, get it out quick guy this week. Ben Roethlisberger's not that way, but what he does have is very quick feet. Why has Ben over the years been so hard to sack, given that he doesn't scramble much, doesn't break contain much, doesn't get out of the pocket a lot, but it's very difficult to sack? Why is that?
Other than he's so big, I mean, the guy's almost bigger than me. He's a big boy, but he has good vision when he's scrambling around. He's always looking downfield, and his receivers know that. That's part of their game. I think it seems like they practice on it in practice with him scrambling and the receivers trying to stay open. So it's going to definitely be a challenge, but we just have to work as a group. When we get to him as a group and keep all our lanes, pass rush lanes, we can get him down.
That's very important against a guy like him. He's most effective when he's kind of freelancing.
Yeah.
When he breaks that contain and is able to move around a little bit. And if you guys don't stick with your assignments, that's when you get hurt.
Yeah, we definitely have to rush as a unit up front this week. And more than anything, they threw the ball a lot last game, so we know they're going to try to have more of a balanced attack this week. So we have to stop the run. We have to focus on stopping the run first so we can just pin our ears back and get after them.
How many times have you ever been close to Ben and just not been able to bring him down, like the little kid hanging on his older brother? Do those just haunt you?
Oh, man, I can't even – I got pictures all over the place with him juking me. So he's definitely a hard guy to get down.
Robert, how much does the Steelers' offense change too? Heath Miller, bad knee injury last year in the game against you guys. Always a big target and safety blanket for Ben to go to. How is their offense different without him in there?
I mean, he was definitely a key part and a comfort zone for Ben. So they've changed a little bit. I haven't watched a whole lot, but I've definitely started on them. But like I said, I think. Personally, I think they're going to try to run the ball and be more balanced this week, to have some – they don't want to let us be able to just pin our ears back and rush them the whole game. So I think they're going to try to have more of a balanced attack this week.
Do you also feel like, given what happened to them on Sunday at home against a team they were expected to beat, that you will get their best shot this week?
Definitely. It's a primetime game. The whole world will be watching, and it's a division game. So it's really important. Everybody's even in the division. So, everybody's trying to get one up.
How much different is it playing on prime time, maybe compared to other games? Because there is that aura to it, and I mean, you guys did have did have a bit of a losing streak on prime time until you went to Philadelphia last year.
There's a lot more juice added to it. You know, you have everybody watching. You know, it's just kind of like a Friday night game in high school again. You know, everybody's waiting for that. At the end of the week, everybody's waiting to see that game. Just like
Uncle Jumpy's there with the remote going back and forth. Yeah,
he'll be texting me, cursing me out, all kind of things. So it's definitely exciting to play on Monday night.
Well, we're all getting our questions in, but we've got more. Let's head out to Lindsay out there in the field because we've got plenty of fans here that are interested. Lindsay, what do you got? Let's hear from somebody.
We're going to continue the Steelers talk. Steelers are in town. It means a lot of things. It also means those obnoxious fans are in town. Your thoughts on the annoying Pittsburgh Steelers fans?
Oh, they are the absolute worst. Nobody wants them in town, and we're going to drown them out.
What annoys you most about them?
That's those terrible towels. They are just terrible.
They're ugly, yellow. Have you ever tried to steal one from someone?
No, I haven't tried to steal one from somebody, but if I can get my hands on one, I'll put it on the ground.
The outlook for that game on Monday night?
Oh, we're going to blow them out.
Score?
I don't want to put a score up there. I say 2 touchdowns.
All right, I like that. Back to you, Paul.
Do you despise Steelers fans, Robert? You're allowed to tell us.
Definitely. I mean, even in South Carolina, there's Steeler flags in everybody's yards in there. So everywhere I go, you can't help but to run into a Steelers fan.
You know what's great? You know what's really great about Steelers fans? They think they're the greatest fans in the world, right? But really, how easy is it to be a Steelers fan? They win all the time. You want to be a fan, you be a fan of the Bengals, you be a fan of the Pirates. You understand what it's like to suffer a little bit and be a true fan. Anybody can root for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You're right. And I think that's another reason this Monday night is so important. It's a home game, and we just want to create this atmosphere, you know, so home field could be an advantage for us. So we want the fans to come out and get really loud and make it an advantage for us at home.
No doubt about it. Doc, getting your Pirates angst in even now. There's never a moment where it's not just taking over you.
I'm watching very carefully night after night, gnashing my teeth. But that's what it means to be a fan, man. You got to suffer a little bit.
No doubt about it. Well, we've got plenty more coming up here. We're gonna put Robert to the challenge. I don't know how familiar you are with playing cornhole. You've been here for 10 years, so I'm sure you know the game a little bit.
Just a little.
But Lindsay's gonna try and take you down, I think. And also, Doc, you're gonna talk to us about something. What do you got?
I'm going to reveal the silver lining behind the cloud that was on Sunday. So stay tuned for that.
Doc bringing the silver lining.
You with a silver lining?
I'm Mr. Optimistic, man.
We don't know who he is, but he's going by the name Doc. So we'll continue with that. We'll have more Cincinnati.com, Behind the Stripes, Paul Daugherty, JoeSfato.com presenting it. We'll be right back.
Do not, I repeat, do not buy a 2013 Chevy from another dealer. Not when you can get a 2014 from Joseph Chevrolet for the same price or less. Seriously, Joseph Chevrolet's 2014s are a better deal than anyone else's 2013s. $129 a month for a new Cruise? Up to $6,500 off a 2014 Silverado? Now that's a clearance sale. Don't pay more for a 2013 than a 2014. Come to Joseph Chevrolet now.
Uncle Ray. Have you heard about all the fun things happening this summer? Festivals, concerts, movies, restaurants, fun places to go, exciting things to do? If you don't get the Enquirer and Cincinnati.com, you're missing out. We tell you about events in every community for every taste. And be sure to download the exclusive Things to Do app to have the best entertainment guide right at your fingertips. The Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. Subscribe today at Cincinnati.com/subscribe.
Back at the Moorline Lager House, our inaugural voyage here. Done pretty well. I think we've done it well. We're not TV guys. We're newspaper guys, but we've done pretty well. Need a little makeup, maybe a little hair gel. I don't know. What do you think? Well, Paul, you don't need hair gel, but Reedy and I might.
I need a shine. I need a special shine so everybody can see how closely I have shaved the head today.
You have nothing to add to this?
Not really. I shaved
You're
today,
not a
so
gel
that was
guy?
my contribution.
You
I'm not a gel guy.
You strike me as a gel guy.
No, not a gel guy.
All right. Well, there was a silver lining to Sunday's cloudy game, and here it is. As much as we gnashed our teeth Sunday, and as we are being Cincinnati fans, wanting somebody fired for something, there was a lot more to like than dislike in Chicago. Namely, Andy Dalton's performance. All summer, the number one question here in Cincinnati was, how will Andy Dalton do? Will he be the quarterback to take the team to the proverbial next level? Now, you can quibble with the turnovers, with the mental errors, and with the faulty clock management. What you cannot argue with is Andy Dalton's performance on Sunday. After the first interception on the first series of the game, Dalton was spectacular. If you were worried about Andy Dalton as a quarterback who can get this team to the proverbial next level, maybe, just maybe, in that defeat, your fears were somewhat allayed.
And when Andy Dalton plays the way Andy Dalton plays, people liked it.
It's what I do.
When Andy Dalton plays the way Andy Dalton plays, A.J. Green gets to do things that A.J. Green can do. And what we saw was when Andy's hitting his spots, A.J. is exposed as the elite special talent he is, and one that almost nobody in the league can match.
But 3 scoring drives, 80 yards or more. I think for 3 drives, we saw what this offense could be. We talked about 2 tight ends with Tyler Eifert and Jermaine Gresham, what they could do. Running game, it's got to get fixed a little bit. There was run blocking problems, but I think that'll get done. But we saw AJ at his best. We saw Andy at his best. We really saw Jay Gruden with some nice play calls on the 3 drives, so a lot to be optimistic about.
Ironically, Dalton's best throw was probably the interception that went off AJ's hands. I mean, that was a difficult throw, 20, 25 yards down the field, over backers, between a safety and a corner, and it hit him right in the hands. So seriously, we sit here and talk about the interceptions. They're not all his fault, and that was probably showing what he can do.
He made, for the most part, very good decisions. He got the ball out quickly. He did utilize the 2 tight ends in a manner that the Bengals had hoped he would, and he showed that he was able to hit the home run ball.
This is a team set up to his strengths, right, Joe?
Yeah, and I also think that 3rd down throw between the 2 safeties, that was the completion was very good. Pinpoint accuracy, you know, you take away that interception and went off AJ's hands, it's probably a 100 passer rating, and when you have a 100 passer rating, you should win. The composure and the penalties, that got to get fixed. They lost this game. They earned it. Chicago really earned 7 points, and I think that's the most frustrating thing.
No doubt about it. Well, we've talked enough football. Let's see how Robert Geathers is at cornhole. We have Lindsay and Robert at the cornhole boards. What's happening out there?
Can really play a real big-time sport tonight. Have you ever played cornhole?
I have. I'm not that good, but I'll do my best.
I would just like to say I'm pretty good at it, so I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, you got it, ladies.
Me? Okay. Oh, you didn't see that?
Nice, yeah.
Now, don't get hurt because we don't have insurance on this. You know, they're going to need you out there. What would Marvin Lewis say about this?
They don't need me that much. I'm just the strength, you know what I mean? So.
But you're the leader.
Yeah, I don't have to be healthy to go.
You need that leadership out there. You need to be healthy.
Definitely.
Do you and some of the defensive guys come out here or go outside, during the summer and play some cornhole?
No.
Don't play with your teammates. Is that not?
Summer, cold tub, ice tub, get our legs back, get ready to go.
No cornhole.
No cornhole.
All right, let's see if you can do this one.
Want to go?
Your call. Right now. Oh, I thought you were good. Let's try. You think this is going to help, prepare for that Steelers Monday Night Football win?
Definitely.
All right, let me do one shot, you two. This is for all that win. Oh.
I thought you were good.
Hey, I'm trying. All right, guys, I would say it's a tie.
Stick with football.
We're a little bit rusty. I'll let you see if you can really do it right here. Okay, he wins. Back to you, Paul.
There it is. We get one on in the very end. Now, I mean, Lindsay, we've got to work on what we saw there. It was coming up about a foot or two short. I know she's better than that, but we're going to work with her.
We saw it in May. She's better than that.
We did. Lindsay did participate in my cornhole tournament and played pretty well, so I'm disappointed in that showing. Robert Geathers, though, gets the lone point. Let's give Robert some credit. Yes, round of applause for Robert. Not very enthusiastic from the crowd, but we'll take it.
Doc, just looking across the league this week, we talked about Dalton's completion percentage, really a good week for the quarterbacks, and I know you watched a Monday night game. Maybe the story of the week is Chip Kelly and that high-powered offense.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, Joe, given that I'm a Redskin fan. Yeah, the story of the week to me was passing. We talked about how the Bengals didn't have a great running game. I'm not sure who really had a great running game this week. I think this year, more than ever, is going to be the year of the passer. We looked at what Chip Kelly did and how that might revolutionize the way the NFL plays football. And of course, coming from a college guy, as usual, most of the NFL stuff is borrowed from college.
Well, I hate to get another dig in, but Steve Spurrier won his first NFL game too. So before we get Chip Kelly in Canton, let's see how the game goes, because with the way Vic ran the ball too, I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to be upright.
Well, we'll see. Maybe the same thing will happen to him that happened to RG3 last year. We can hope, right?
Yeah. Indeed. I will tell you this. If it is the year of the passer, that's why we should be pretty excited, because next week here on this show, we will have wide receiver Marvin Jones here with us. We should be pretty excited about that. Marvin, a great guy, a California guy. We can talk to him about life on the beach and if it's similar to sitting on the side of the Ohio River.
I don't think they play cornhole in California.
Well, a big weekend for Marvin because Cal hosts Ohio State on Saturday. So
absolutely will be. So we'll be back here again next Tuesday. That'll be at 7 o'clock. We show up about 6 and begin milling around. So you can come down here then. And you can also hang out and have drinks with me because I plan on having a few OTRs as soon as we get done here, as will Doc and Joe. But make sure you follow us all on Twitter at Inquirer Doc, at Joe Reedy, at Lindsey Patterson, at Paul Daugherty Jr. We're on every media available. You can find us on the Bengals app. Go to Cincinnati.com. Read it on the tablet. Joe and I do Scribe Session every Tuesday. Listen to the podcast. Make sure you check that out. And, of course, we'll be here every Tuesday, every week, all year, bringing it to you here from the Moorline Lager House. Really brought it home. They really brought it home. A great way to finish. Cincinnati.com, Beyond the Stripes, with Paul Daugherty, and we were presented by JosephAuto.com. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Want to know what everyone's talking about? Get the news you want 24/7, anywhere, anytime. Subscribe now. The Inquirer and Cincinnati.com.